Hello, how's everybody doing? Hello, Nicholas.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here, everybody. We are so thrilled at Social to be welcoming Nicholas Sass of Nikolaihof Winery in the Wachau of Austria. If we haven't met yet, it's my pleasure to meet you virtually. My name is Sara Moll, and I'm the founder and CEO of Social. Social is a platform for wine education, and specifically, we love to spotlight and bring to life the amazing stories behind the bottles via the makers themselves, and really use wine as a vessel to travel the world and learn about these amazing cultures. And in the spring season of 2021, we are exploring the beautiful, rich in history regions, wine regions in both Austria and Germany. And I think these are incredible wine regions that don't get enough attention in the US market, but they are two of my favorite regions in Europe. I mean, making exceptional wines, and Nikolaihof is at the very top. I was just telling Nicholas that I have been a fan of Nikolaihof for so many years, and it's just such a thrill and an honor to meet you and taste these wines live, even though we are a continent apart. But thank you for being here, and cheers.
Cheers.
All right, so why don't you set the stage, right? So I always like to start these off by taking everyone through this sort of virtual passport dynamic and placing us in the world. So tell us about the Wachau and what makes it so exceptionally beautiful and special.
Actually, the Wachau is a very small wine growing area. It's about 1,400 hectares, so about 2,800, 2,900 acres. It's a World Heritage Site, UNESCO World Heritage Site. So we have the Danube River, which is, of course, very beautiful. Almost everybody know the song or the text of the Blue Danube. It's a very famous song. And we have a lot of terraces here in the Wachau. So about 1,000 years ago, they built in the slopes these very dry stone terraces, which is really very beautiful and perfect for the wine. And we have such a perfect microclimate here. We have these hot summer days. We have the cool winds from the north coming from the timber quarter. It's an area here with a lot of forest. And this all together makes the Wachau really very, very beautiful. Perfect for wine, but also perfect for vacation and sightseeing and so on.
It is stunning, right? It is literally like what you imagine like picturesque Austria to look like, with the river and the beautiful little towns and the beautiful green hills and the vineyards everywhere. So tell us about the history of Nikolaihof. You guys are one of the oldest wineries in all of Austria, with a history going back that you can trace back almost 2,000 years. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Actually, it was a Roman army base, Castel Fabianis. So about 2,000 years ago, that the Wachau, the Nikolaihof, was already a very popular wine growing place. And later on, so that the Roman army had to leave the area in the end of the 5th century. But the Romans, every Roman soldier had the right to 2 liters wine a day. As a kind of
2 liters, dang.
2 liters a day. So actually, that was also one of the secrets of the Roman Empire, because the soldiers had not to drink bad water; they had just to drink the good wine. So they had a lot of fun during all these hard times.
Yeah, I can imagine. They're a little. It's like modern day doping, right?
Yeah, definitely. But it was more. The wine was more wine, water, vinegar mixture with about 4 or 5% alcohol. So it was not wine like we know it today.
Right.
Then the Romans had to leave the area in the end of the 5th century. Then we don't know what's happened here until the year 777, so the 777 magic number. They found a monastery called Kremsmünster, about 200 kilometers away from here. And they gave it to another monastery as a present in 985, to the monastery of St. Nikolai in Passau in Bavaria, in now Germany. And so since that year, since 985, the name Nikolai is existing for the property. So we are definitely the oldest winery in Austria, exactly 11 years older than Austria, because first mention of Osterreichi was in 996, so 11 years later, Nikolaihof was already named St. Nikolai in that time.
I love it. I mean, did you guys know you're going to get a history lesson on Austria today? I mean, that's what's so amazing about wine, and why I think these regions are so compelling to explore, because they're so tied. You know, the wine industry and the history of wine growing is so tied to the history of, you know, civilizations and the expansion and colonization of the world. So there it is in real time. I love it. And this is the cellar. I mean, this looks like stepping back in time 2,000 years or 500 years.
Actually, part of the cellar is 2,000 years, 1,800 years old.
Wow.
So the side walls, what you can see here behind the casks, are about 1,800 years old, and the roof, also the ceiling, is about 700 years old. So it's a little bit younger. The casks, what you can see, we're using all of them, so they're not just a decoration. And the biggest one on the right side is a 12,000 liter cask. So they're not very, they're not just kind of small casks. And so, and we're trying to keep the wines as long as possible in the casks in the cellar. Mm-hmm. Some wines, like the Hefeabzug, just for a few weeks or months. But then some wines, like the Vinothek, for example, Vinothek Riesling, is about 16 years in one of the big oak casks.
Whoa, 16 years?
16 years in the old Austrian oak casks. And the youngest cask, what we have in the cellar, is from 1991. And so there's no oaky taste in the wine, which is good, because our wines are very fine, very filigrane, very elegant. So we don't want to have the oaky taste in the wines. And so that's why, it's the reason why we have just old oak casks in the cellar.
Yeah, genius, the neutral oak. Amazing. So tons and tons of rich history. Let's talk a little bit about biodynamics. You guys are one of the first in Austria. And if those of you that don't know, biodynamics, the principles for biodynamics came from Austria, from scientist Rudolf Steiner. So it makes sense. It's where biodynamics would sort of expand from. So tell us about what that means to you, and what it's like working a vineyard biodynamically.
Actually, for me, it's quite normal to work biodynamic, because when I was born, the Nikolaihof was already 9 years biodynamic. My parents started working biodynamic in 1971. So this year it's 50 years of biodynamic working at Nikolaihof. Mm-hmm. And so for me, biodynamic is it's the only way how we should treat the nature. We should treat the vineyards. We should work with our soil. It's a very special thing. It's not just using no chemicals in the vineyards. This is just of course normal for us.
It's a fundamental belief system, right? In the way that you respect the earth and all of the flora and fauna and the microbe community, all the things, right? With tremendous respect. And it's all right about creating just this really beautifully holistic, symbiotic, vibrant, and alive ecosystem. And it's truly beautiful. I mean, I'm a massive fan of biodynamics. I think it's oftentimes noticeable in the wine, like it's like an alive, it's something almost indescribable in a wine. But I applaud you guys for doing it, because it's not easy either. I mean, I guess maybe you tell us, like, since you guys have been doing it for so long, is it now just sort of like running itself, or is it a heavy lift?
No, actually, it's especially in very difficult years like 2014, 2010, 2008. The vineyards are much healthier than from our colleagues, because the immune system of the wines are much stronger than the others. For me, it's like if you protect the child always from dirt, it's never allowed to play somewhere in the mud, and so the immune system cannot grow very well. So the best is to just give a piece of bread with butter on it and put it somewhere in the mud, and the child should eat that, and then the ecosystem, the immune system can really grow. And it's the same for the vineyard. So if you're not using all these all these chemical treatments, all these fertilizers, the wines are growing very slow at the beginning. We need maybe 1 or 2 years longer to have the first really good or bigger harvest. But the root system is much better, the immune system is better, and so the wines are stronger. And then, especially in typical years, we have a better harvest, healthier crops, and yeah, that's
a great analogy to like a human immune system, and it makes total sense. It's like, and it's not a short, quick fix, right? It's like a long vision of like long health, like a whole lifespan of health. Setting them up for being able to fight their own fight versus just spraying some chemicals when you get a pest or a fungus or something. So that's amazing. So, all right, let's talk about Gruner Veltliner specifically, because to me, Gruner and Austria are synonymous, right? And I happen to think Nikolaihof makes one of the best Gruners I've ever had. And I know you make multiple Gruners. So tell us about the one we're having today. And I'm going to let you tell everyone how to pronounce that word, because I literally butcher it.
This pronunciation is very, very difficult. But it's much easier when you say these 2 words. Also that the word is Hefeabzug, and it's Hefe and Abzug. So 2 words. Hefe is the lees. Perfect. Hefe is the lees or the yeast, and Abzug means bringing it away from the lees. So it's a longer yeast contact. There's no pre-filtration. There's just one filtration during bottling time. And so it makes the wine a little bit creamier, yeastier. More drinkable as a really cool summer wine for me.
It is a very cool summer wine, and it has a lot of sort of savoriness to it, right? It's not super fruity. It's got a lot of minerality, and like almost like a salty kind of quality to it. Is that mainly because of the lees contact?
I think it's all together. You cannot say it's just because of the also just the whole farming thing and so. And if you ever find somewhere on the list old Hefeabzug, 10, 15, 20 years old, buy it and drink it.
Oh, really?
Because also the Hefeabzug is a wine which is fantastic for aging.
Oh, good to know. I'm going to stash them away, like a whole case, and then just see what happens in a decade. So what, if you could tell everyone, like, what is special about Gruner? Like, what is sort of unique about it in comparison to, I know you guys grow a lot of Riesling too, but what is so unique and special about Gruner?
As Gruner Veltliner is a typical Austrian autochthon variety. It's just existing in Austria and in all the countries. Austria was much bigger in former times during the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. And so it's very, very local here. And the very interesting thing is from Gruner Veltliner, you can really make very light, easy drinking wine, and you can keep it in the vineyards for a longer time, make more stronger wines, or maybe also sweet wine. You can do almost every kind of stylistic from Gruner Veltliner. It's always a good acidity, drinkable. Yeah, it's really cool. You can make a spritz out of it, and you can drink it for the perfect dinner, to the best, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really, as a sommelier, right, I find Gruner to be really awesome at the table. And it really has a unique ability to pair well with foods that are somewhat difficult to pair with, like specifically like vegetables and salads that can have sort of those bitter components. And I feel like sort of the vegetal quality of Gruner is a great match. So I always say, it's like, man, I just want Gruner with like a beautiful spring salad and asparagus and cheese, and I don't know, it's super versatile, but because it has such great acidity as well, and it can also work well with meat, right? So if you wanted to have like even a steak with a white wine, or obviously any type of poultry, like it's just super versatile. So what's your go-to Gruner pairing at home?
Everything.
Exactly.
Yesterday I had a smoked forelle is trout. Sorry, smoked trout with a Gruner Veltliner. Quite cool. Yeah.
That sounds fantastic. But like some good sausages would be great with this.
Yeah.
Super tasty.
Also when I'm doing some barbecue with some wild boar sausages and so, It fits to almost everything. So not every Grüne Veltliner fits to everything, but you can find a Grüne Veltliner for almost every kind of dish.
Yep, I totally agree. I'm a huge fan. Well, our time is about up. Is there anything you'd love to leave everybody with to remember about Nikolaihof or just Austrian wine in general?
Whenever you find Austrian wine on Nikolaihof, just buy it and drink it. No,
buy it, drink it, love it.
Yeah, no, it's when you ever have the chance to come to Austria, to Europe, please give us a ring, call us, write us. We are here. Please visit us, and yeah, it's really a perfect area to make vacation also, and drink a lot of good wine and eat good food.
Yeah, we've been sold. We're all coming to visit you. Once we can travel more freely to Europe, I'm making a beeline for Austria. So I'm going to go ahead and just welcome everybody to join. We're going to all descend on you and come visit. We'd love that. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, Nicholas. It's a pleasure. Thank you for putting this amazing juice in our glass. Mad respect. And also, I want to just invite anyone watching to grab some of this wine. We are going to put a discount code on screen. It'll also be in the description of the video on YouTube. So please jump to our wine shop. You can buy this bottle, just as many as you want, 1, 2, 10, or you can also still grab the whole spring box, which has 6 different wines from 6 different amazing makers, including Nikolaihof from Germany and Austria. And it's a really fun way to explore the diversity of this amazing place through wine, with lots of great educational materials and videos and all kinds of stuff. So you can be a German wine expert in no time. Thank you again, and cheers. Or how do you say cheers in German?
Prost.
Prost. Oh, I knew that.
Or zum Wohl.
Prost.
Prost.
I knew that. I've done that before. Amazing. Awesome to see you. Take good care.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.